APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu resigns. Federal government to unveil new program to tackle banditry in Northwest. Fire raises Lagos orphanage home, 7 children rescued. On the foreign scene, South Korea orders all-out effort after death toll from heavy rains hit 39. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ida. Thanks for joining. And now the details. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has tendered his resignation last night. Adamu emerged as the national chairman at the party's national convention held in March last year. Adamu has sent his resignation letter to the presidential villa Abuja ahead of the return of President Bola Tinubu from the African Union meeting in Kenya. A source told Daily Trust that Adamu, a former governor of Nasarawa State, sent the resignation letter to the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, on Sunday evening. Another source close to Adamu corroborated this, adding that the national chairman resigned following a gang-up by people around the president to embarrass him during the meetings of the party slated for Tuesday and Wednesday. The source, however, denied a report that it was President Tinubu that asked Adamu to resign ahead of the National Caucus and National Executive Committee meetings of the party. The party had fixed July 10th and 11th for its National Caucus and NEC meetings to iron out critical issues affecting it and the crisis within the National Working Committee. However, the meetings were later postponed and rescheduled. Now, a founding member of the party said that Adamu resigned when he got wind that 2 influential personalities around the president had mobilized against him ahead of the meetings. Now, the federal government is set to unveil a new program, Pulaku Solution, geared towards ending the insecurity in the northwestern region. Vice President Kashim Shettima disclosed this to journalists on Sunday at Kano State Government House. Now, the Vice President, who had earlier paid a condolence visit to Emir of Bichi, said insecurity in the northwest region could only be resolved through kinetic and non-kinetic means. The development comes less than 2 weeks after President Bola Tinubu told the recently appointed service chiefs that there is work to be done.
Is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern governance. And the crisis we have in the Northwest, further accentuated by poverty and social exclusion, is something that the President is determined to confront. And in the coming weeks, he is going to unveil the Pulaku Solution. Unless we want to engage in an endless war of attrition, there cannot be a military solution to the crisis in the Northwest. There has to be a kinetic and non-kinetic solution. And President Bola Tinubu, in the next couple of weeks, will unveil the Pulaku Solution, which will address the grievances and the social exclusion of our Pulbe cousins in the Northwest, towards addressing the root causes of all the banditry and insurgency in the nation.
All right, now medical doctors in Cross River State have withdrawn their services until further notice following the kidnap of one of their colleagues from her residence in Calabar on Thursday. The chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association in Cross River, Dr. Felix Achibong, confirmed the development in a letter on Sunday after an emergency general meeting in Calabar. The association called on the state government and security agencies to see to the release of their member. The doctors noted that despite all their efforts in ensuring the release of their colleague, Ephraim has remained in captivity. The association thereafter resolved to embark on a total and indefinite withdrawal of medical services effective immediately in solidarity with their member still in the hands of her abductors. Now, residents of Benue State have expressed concern over the hike in the price of table water, despite the availability of the natural resource in the state. A cross-section of residents who spoke to our correspondent in Makurdi said a bag of sachet water, popularly known as pure water, now sells for between 250 naira and 300 naira in the state capital. Jimmy Azande reports.
The residents said water is fast becoming a commodity that many families can no longer afford in the state, even with the advantage as home to one of the two biggest rivers in Nigeria.
Something they buy before 10 naira, now na 20 naira. Bag of pure water before is like now 150, but now they buy at 250. That means it cost be that now. Cost where myself. So we don't know how we go do for this country now. Only God will help us now.
Cost of pure water in my area. Pure water is 350 naira, depending on where you're getting it from. Yeah, some people do sell 250, while others is 350, and depending on the pure water, the product.
What we are buying is 110 naira, and then now they increase it to 120 naira. It's really affecting us. So we want the government to help and assist so that it will come back to the normal price, which is 10 naira.
The water sellers in the state said the wholesale price is affecting the prices retailers sell to the final consumers.
The pure water is 250. The reason is because I buy the pure water at the rate of 200, so I sell 250 the bag of pure water, and I give 3 for 50 naira.
If it is before, we buy at the rate of 150 and say 200, and now we buy at the rate of 200 and say 250.
Those in neighboring states like Kogi also share their experiences.
Cost of pure water in our side, in Lokoja, one bag is 150. When you buy it from the car, yes, and you want to resell it, you can resell it 200 or 220, so that is it.
They said without prompt intervention, the situation may get out of hand for low-income families.
You tell the government, oh, make you return the 10 naira back. The cost 20 naira is too much.
When I say government to look into this matter to solve this issue of water scarcity and good water for our own community and our own people here.
When the government work towards the water and everybody get the water very easy, especially those in the remote area. We in the town are finding it difficult, especially River Benue is in my house. I'm staying by pure water 20.
The water crisis in Benue State, home to River Benue, is blamed on poor government policies and corruption with successive administrations at the state level. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, 7 children were rescued on Sunday after fire gutted a story building occupied by an orphanage home on Wole Madariole Street in the Aguda area of Lagos State. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, in a statement on Monday, revealed that the inferno was caused by a power surge that emanated from an air conditioning unit in the building. The Permanent Secretary, Olufemi Damilola Okeosanyitolu, said that the agency received the distress call on the fire incident at about 2:43 p.m. A total of 7 boys with ages ranging between 1 and 7 years were quickly evacuated from the home and safely relocated to the compound opposite the home. Post-disaster assessment revealed that the whole of the first floor was salvaged while the fire was contained in the storeroom. The rest of the ground floor was also salvaged. The LASEMA boss further disclosed that the children were formally handed over to the Child Protection Unit of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development, now who then formally handed the 7 children over to the Red Cross. The World Bank has attributed the frequent building collapse in Lagos State to loopholes in the permitting process and use of unqualified professionals in the design and construction of the buildings. The bank revealed this in a report on housing regulatory framework standards in sub-Saharan Africa. It also listed absence of a legally adopted building design code, limited land availability for development, and lack of systems to ensure the quality of construction materials, as well as other reasons buildings cave in regularly in the state. According to the bank, only about 10% of construction sites obtain permits, and even when permits are obtained, final construction can still deviate from their requirements. A report by the Lagos State branch of the Building Collapse Prevention Guild early this year revealed that 115 incidents of building collapse occurred in the capital city in the last 10 years. Poverty has been identified as one of the major causes of malnutrition among many children in Nigeria, especially in the northeastern parts of the country. This was disclosed by health workers in Gombe State during a visit to a health facility by a group of journalists drawn from 4 states of the region and the FCT. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was there.
According to United Nations Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, the first 1,000 days of a child are crucial for physical development and brain growth. Nutrition during pregnancy, breastfeeding period as well. Babies' nurturing care in the first 2 years are extremely important. At the health facility center Kumbia, members of the media drawn from Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba and Abuja observed some activities towards improving life of a baby and nursing mothers, while health workers explain further.
First, if she comes in the labor room, take her BP first, PCD, to know whether her blood is okay for her to deliver successfully. We take her BP without any high BP or low BP, then we admit her for the delivery.
We immunize newborn babies, that's BCG, at least 105 a month. For Penta 1, we immunize one less than 133.
Dr. Sharen, UNICEF Bauchi Field Office, while talking to journalists at the media engagement, says first 1,000 days is a time spanning between conception and second birthday of a child, noting that maternal health and child nutrition can determine the child's ability to grow, and poor nutrition will cause irreversible damage for growing brain.
I think it's work in progress, but definitely, as I said, if we even lose one child, it's something that...
Adding that intervention from 0 to 6 months of a child's life include exclusive breastfeeding, immunization, infection prevention, and nurturing care of a baby. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Debate over merger and unbundling or scrapping of some ministries, departments and agencies is taking center stage as cost of governance continues to rise. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman speaks to retired senior civil servants on the desirability or otherwise of implementing the Oronsaye report.
Increasing number of ministries, departments and agencies, with some having overlapping functions, has prompted thinking around merger and scrapping of some to save costs of running governance. The size of Nigeria's bureaucracy, which has around 2 million mainstream and ancillary workforce, has been a source of concern to successive administrations.
It is overdue, just to make at least to cut some cost, because most of the ministries perform the same function. If you want to do some research, you see that there are some ministries that perform the same function.
I don't have any problem with the merger or unbundling of ministries, MDA ministries, departments and agencies. The only problem I have is when whatever actions we are taking is going to cause loss of job.
Ibrahim Biu is an astute administrator. While he agrees that there is need to unbundle some of the ministries for efficiency, he is, however, not in support of trimming down the numbers.
With the way the economy is now, and with the kind of economic policies the president has in trying to boost the economy, to reduce waste and also reduce, this bloated bureaucracy, I think is good.
While some see the need to revisit the Steve Oronsaye report, which recommended merging the MDAs amongst other suggestions, a retired permanent secretary Hakim Baba Ahmed is of the view that the situation is more complex than even thought.
It's very facile. It doesn't deal with the real issues about cost of governance and the fundamentals about restructuring the public service. And thirdly, too many people think it's the solution to everything wrong about the public service, like cost of governance, lack of efficiency, corruption, improving cost competencies, mergers of agencies, those kind of things. Those are not going to be solved by the Oronsaye report.
As the increasing need to reduce the cost of governance in the country takes a center stage, experts say the Tinubu administration must put all options on the table, including the cost of running bicameral legislature and executive expenses, with a view to freeing funds for national development. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at devastating effects of cybercrime. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu resigns. Federal government to unveil new program to tackle banditry in the Northwest. Now, over the years, a lot of people have fallen victim to online scams, leading to distrust between associates. There is a trend where a dubious phone call could cost you everything. You not only risk losing your money, but the encounter can leave a devastating effect on your physical and mental health. Here's that report.
Scams have become a popular trend in Nigeria, a devious means by which many unsuspecting victims who are often low-income earners lost their hard-earned savings to cyber criminals. These criminals mostly pose as bank workers, asking for customers' bank information or business managers sometimes.
Hello, sir.
This victim, who agreed to share her encounter with the scammers, said she has received a call that brought her anguish.
I wouldn't say a mistake though, because it was a friend's account that I know, so she do sell some stuff. So I saw a post about something to buy, and then I requested for it. So she said I should send the money to a particular account number, and I did. And after everything, I didn't find the goods. So I'm kind of scared of buying things online. So if I see something I like online, then I will ask the person about the physical shop. Then if you have a shop that I can reach out to, then I would just prefer going to the shop to check what I want and I pay. So online stuff, no, I don't want to do it again.
Is it true banks call to ask customers information for verification? A banker, Benjamin Gablai, speaks on the bank's effort to prevent people from falling victims.
I advise that no bank, I will assure you that no bank will call you to give any details to them. So whenever you receive any call talking about your bank, there are questions, if you ask them, sometimes they get confused. These are scams, and it affects even our WhatsApp platforms, it affects Facebook, and by the time they begin to get into those details, that's why they get the details of your banks and begin to perpetrate some unholy deductions from your account.
While many focus on the financial impact of fraud, the emotional and mental impact can be just as damaging with serious health consequences. Victims of fraud require immediate help, which must be offered by a professional.
Of course, someone that has been a victim of scam, we can say, of course, it causes a lot of things, which one of them, like I've said, is inflict trauma. It might be emotional, it might be psychological. Of course, I might have something that I've solely depend on, or should I say I've spent years, months trying to gather them or trying to save. So if somebody will come in just a second or minutes and scam me, so you can think what that might cost me. It might be emotionally, it might be psychologically. A lot of people who have been affected by all this online and cyber crime or whatever have been affected mentally.
These criminals are still on the loose like a lion hunting for its prey, not just the weak, but the gullible. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, on the foreign scene, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has ordered an all-out rescue and recovery effort after days of torrential rains unleashed devastating floods and landslides that killed at least 39 people. The death toll on Monday included 13 people found dead in a submerged underpass in the central city of Gyeongju. Yoon, on his return to Seoul following a trip to Ukraine, convened an intra-agency meeting on the disaster response and called for authorities to make the utmost effort to rescue the victims. Yoon also pledged support for recovery work, including designating affected areas as special disaster zones. South Korea, which is at the peak of its summer monsoon season, has been battered by heavy rains since July 9. The downpours have caused widespread flooding and landslides, mostly in the country's central and southern region. And now in sports news, over the past few years, use of local languages in sports commentary has gained significant momentum, captivating audiences across the country. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim takes a look at how new opportunities are created for local broadcasters and a sense of cultural inclusivity provided for fans across the country.
Nigerians have always been passionate about sports, particularly football. The fans say they feel a deeper connection with the game when they can understand and relate to the commentary in their own language.
There's a particular idiom the Hausa commentator use that brings out the vibe in the match, you know, because these days we find some people in the viewing center, like me also. The commentaries we broadcast on the radio station, I kind of like to listen to that particular comment.
Local language sports commentary has not only expanded the fan base, but has also boosted the popularity of regional broadcasters.
I realized that when you listen to a lot of commentators, like in football, the John Champion of this world, Derek Ray, Jim Beglin, you find out that they are very comfortable with the language, and that plays a huge role to give them that finesse, to give them that freedom to use words, to play around words. So because of that, I decided to go into commentary in my native language to, you know, harness the potentials that lies there. And been good.
Many sports analysts and experts believe that the rise of local language sports commentary can also contribute to the development of indigenous languages.
So some words that we are using, like when it comes to free kick, corner, offside, challenging decision of the referee, other technical issues for the officiating of the game, most of the people that are watching the match inside the stadium, they don't understand or they don't know that technical words. But when we use our local language, when we use our local commentary, people will learn more.
We always say, "Kokeke gacharame, keebe butiano." That's like, it's more like an idiom. Like since Okeke went to the army and returned, where is his boot? We can't find it. That's like when you put in effort or try to, like when you maybe just have like a beautiful nonsense kind of situation. That's where it comes in.
Proliferation of sports commentary in local languages is certainly a positive development due to the diverse linguistic landscape of Nigeria. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Indeed, innovative and ingenious way of spicing up the sports industry. Now, that's all for now. On the news update, you can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.